what they call that now, the civil service rules that perhaps permit.
We're not about a constitutional issue. Once the constitution comes in, every other rule, to the extent of the inconsistency with the constitution, goes to places.
But that's the thing, we've not been able to, you know, say categorically, because the Constitution seems to be silent.
No.
On an acting position. And all of these other positions, the Constitution is quite clear in terms of how you appoint a substantive anybody, but it seems to be silent on how you get anybody to act.
If you read from sections 153 to 160, the clear provision of the Constitution is that the Commission, that's the INEC, is, how do I put it? They are on their own, they act in the word here is independent. But that's why the word independent was even put before their name.
But are they really independent?
Yes, they are. They have a first line charge for their monies. They are. At least Jega confirmed repeatedly that they were independent.
So where then lies, where do people who argue that the president should not appoint an INEC chairman, where do they derive?
No, somebody has to appoint. I don't think it's right. The president has to appoint an INEC chairman, but it must pass through the laid out safeguards. And those laid out safeguards are clear. One is the Council of State. Most of them are
the fact that the president, who is an elected official of government, is even involved in nomination and has to go through the Council of State, which also has elected officials of government in it. Doesn't that interfere with the independence, seeming independence of INEC?
There's no perfect rule. At the end of the day, what you have in a democratic system are checks and balances. So the key thing is to protect those checks and balances.
What's wrong with a proposal? I know a proposal was put out about the National Judicial Council being allowed to do to nominate the INEC chairman and all the vetting and all the processes, independent of any elected official.
That would be an ideal situation. Personally, I would prefer that. If they leave it to the National Judicial Council to appoint, I would personally prefer that. But still, the point is that as of now, even those safeguards that we have in our Constitution is about to be ignored. That's why I'm saying that the right thing for the lady to do is, at the end of work tomorrow, she calls a meeting of the Commission, and the Commission will, from themselves, appoint somebody that will act in their state until the president does what he's supposed to do.
Would that not
somebody that will head the Commission for the meantime until any person that has the head at every point in time, the most senior member of the Commission can hold forth until his own tenure lapses. The next senior member.
So you're saying she should disregard the directive or the letter of the president that says she should act in that position until a substantive.
That letter was ultra-virus. It was outside the powers of the president. It was outside the powers of the head of service. First of all, this letter, in the first part of the letter, they said her appointment as a deputy national chairman starts terminated as of June 30th. Meaning that she has been removed, which the president doesn't have a power to do. The president cannot remove any member of INEC, except he takes it to the Senate. So that first part of the letter, that appointment as a deputy national chairman, as a member, terminated on
so now you're saying not just the chairman of INEC, but any member of
the president cannot remove any member of the commission. He doesn't have the power to remove any member of the commission, except the Senate approved by 2/3 majority. That's the key thing. That is
now her tenure was about to elapse.
It lapses tomorrow.
Yeah, she's a member of the commission. She's been screened. She's gone through Senate screening. Nobody had an issue with her when she was being screened. She also has been in the commission, and she has not had any issue that has come to the fore. Yep. Assuming she were to retire, and that's the question I posed to the guest who was here before you. Assuming she even retires tomorrow, can the president appoint anyone to be in acting capacity?
I still disagree that I believe the president doesn't have the power to appoint anybody in acting capacity. I think it's the duty of the members of the commission as a body to hold a meeting and put somebody into that acting capacity. The way they were about to do it before the president came into the issue. I think that is the right thing to do. The commission should call a meeting of the commission, and then the most senior member, or except if the most senior member declines, then they can now appoint anybody else among them to hold forth until such a time as the president does what he's supposed to do. That's the right thing to do. It's not for the president to interfere. If the president wants to appoint new members of INEC, he knows how to go about it. If he wants to appoint the chairman of INEC, they also know what to do. So anything else amounts to interference. If they are going to tell us that they write a letter to act for 6 months, I think that's bizarre.
So under what circumstances? Because Shoibe acted and handed over to Jega.
Why people did not raise so much eyebrows up to today is this. She was, or she still is, a member of INEC.
Who?
Amina Zakari. See, as of today, she's a member of the INEC.
She's still a
tomorrow.
member. I thought you said the
No,
letter...
her thing not lapsed. That's why I'm saying that letter is ultra-virus. That letter is a wrong letter because that letter had no capacity to remove her as a member. So I'm disregarding that first part of the letter.
No, but it's the same letter
The
that
two parts
she
of the letter
derives her acting capacity from.
To the extent that the members of INEC did not deem it fit to call a proper meeting and announce that they appointed somebody else, and she was one of their members, I think that they are acquiesced to that extent, at least for this particular period. But after tomorrow, they don't even have the power to acquiesce. They don't even have the power to say yes because she is no longer their member. So there's nothing they can do. They cannot say a non-member of INEC should become the chairman of INEC. I don't think it's possible.
Hold on. Professor Jega and Iwu were not members of INEC before they became chairman.
Once you are nominated and your nomination is screened and you are approved, you become a member of INEC automatically.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is that Professor Jega and Professor Maurice Iwu were not members of INEC at all before their appointment.
Precisely. Nearly all of them came from their side. Even the Deputy National Chairman, the Resident Electoral Commissioner, all came in from our side. They don't usually promote, they don't usually do civil service.
Not like a career thing.
So if that letter says your tenure has ended, consider a tenure end and then begin in acting capacity, isn't that coming from outside?
I don't understand the question perfectly, but what I'm trying to say is that that letter, the constitutionality of that letter, both the first part and the second part, I believe were not constitutional. Why I'm even giving it a benefit of at least the second part of the letter is because she is a member of INEC. That's the only reason why that letter has been tolerated at all. Otherwise, that letter is not what the paper it was written on.
All right, Michael Dupo, legal practitioner, thank you for coming and talking about this matter today. That's the show today. We thank you all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain also.
Well, thank you so much for watching and thank you for your contributions. I'm Maokwe Ogun.
And I'm Nelta Igbe. Thank you for watching.